Hello, welcome back. My name is Literally Dead, and we're going to finish off our Tower of Trials run. We are on floor 16 now, and we're going to do the last 5 floors, floor 16 through 20. The first thing I wanted to mention was it is the Blessing of Swiftness, meaning all Swift classed heroes are getting a 50% boost on all stats. So that's going to be a very big bonus, and you best know we are going to be using Swift class heroes. So this first half we're going to be using Bombie, and for the second half we're going to be using Bombie. Alright, so this first half, like I said, we're going to be using Bombie. The altars I'll be running will be 15 points to Blacksmith and 10 points to the Altar of Mage. And then the relics I'll be running will be the Mask, Insignia, and Helm Relic. The Helm Relic is absolutely crucial for these first 4 floors because of the Orc Hook guys. Because the Orc Hook guys, they hook people in the back, they hook people from the back line to their back line, who takes a bunch of damage, and they get stunned, so they can't even do anything about it. However, with the Helm Relic, they are immune to CC or crowd control for the first 5 seconds, meaning when they get hit by the hook, nothing happens. So it's completely overpowered, and it's like a hard counter to like these last 4 floors. In fact, for Bombie, it's going to be the exact same relics and altars, except instead of 10 points of the Altar of Mage, I'm going to be running 10 points of the Altar of Giant. And with that, he can take like a lot less damage. Not a lot, but you know what I mean. A little bit less damage, which can help with his survivability. Also, to help out with the survivability, I added a Lily in the front just to act as like an extra distraction, extra tank, just in case. I'm sure he could do fine on his own, especially with the 50% bonus in all stats. I'm just doing it just to be safe. I really don't want to like repeat chapters or lose a chapter and embarrass myself in front of like the 10 people who watch this stuff. Oh, and I didn't talk about the Awaken ability yet. For Bombie, I'm using his first Awaken ability. It instantly increases Crimson Slash, which is the ability. It increases the attack count by 1 when a target is killed with his ability, and the max is 3, so that's going to be very good for taking care of many enemies as possible. And then for Bombie, I used his first Awakened ability as well, and for that, it's upon every 10th normal attack, he throws a Mega Bomb that deals triple damage in a 5x5 range. Again, that's just for dealing a bunch of area damage, crowd control, all that fun stuff. Now for equipment, for Bombie, you want to make sure he has at least 2 bows and a staff. You can even do 3 bows if you want to like maximize his speed, but that kind of takes away from his ability damage, and his ability is very important, so me personally, I would do 1 staff and then 2 bows. And for Bombie, speed is very important, so I'm going to do 2 bows, but instead of using a staff, it is very, very, very important that you use a sword instead. Staff really doesn't do anything for him, it just like makes his ability last longer, which isn't all that important. What's more important is dealing damage. That's why we're going to be using swords instead of staffs for Bombie. Like I said, I mentioned it earlier, the one thing or the key thing you want to look out for is the hook guys. The hook guys, like I said, drag people from the backline to their backline, and it's not very fun unless you have the Helm Relic, and that's going to be completely broken. It's like a hard counter onto this floor, or these set of floors. There are 2 other things that you want to look out for in these floors. The first one are the Cyclops Orc guys who throw rocks, right? They're like the only range unit in this thing where they throw rocks specifically towards the backline, which causes stun. You want to be careful for that, especially for Bombie, because that could disrupt his attack. That's why, another reason why I have Lily in the front line, just in case they get hit from that and they get stunned and they don't do damage, right? And the other factor you want to look out for is the mini-boss orc, the ones that is very similar to the boss from chapter 6, where he jumps up and jumps down, does a lot of damage, is very, very tanky, right? That can be kind of disruptive for both Bombie and Bombie, so you got to be careful with that. Oh, and I forgot to mention, maybe some people were asking, oh, why don't you have points into the Altar of Blood? Well, the reason why is because attack HP and spell HP drain for ally heroes has become unavailable, so you can't use it at all. And that actually leads me to my next thing I was going to talk about. So Bombie and Bombie, yeah, they're going to be very good. They have that 50% increase in all stats, but I do not trust them to take care of the boss. And I really don't want to like delay or spend gems getting like multiple flags to test it out anyways, so I'm going to switch out the teams, unfortunately. Sorry to disappoint, but I think I have to. So I'm going to use a very standard team, something that kind of basically guarantees the win for floor 20 pretty much 90% of the time. For the first half, it's going to be Shelda with her explosive will, and then the second half is going to be Ren, with Ren who can make mighty blocks every time she uses her ability. Both of those heroes kind of get around the spell HP attack drain, and with that, they can survive longer, and the boss kind of does hit a little bit hard, so you gotta watch out for that. That's why I'm using Shelda and Ren instead of Zuobai and Bombie. Well, actually, I do have some time, so let me talk about the teams for those. So for Shelda, I'm going to be using her her Explosive Awaken ability. The relics I'll be running will be Mask Insignia and the Staff Relic, with 15 points to the Altar of Blacksmith and 10 points to the Altar of Mage to get her ability up more and more. For the other half for Ren, I'm going to be using the Mask Insignia and the Shield Relic. For the sake of time, I am gonna talk about the boss right now. So his name is the Monarch Elden. He has his hitboxes divided by his left and right arm for the first half, and then the second half is his whole body. So the whole body one is like insane because he has so much HP, but with his left and right arm, they have high defense and each have their own types of attacks. I believe one has like a sweeping motion that causes all heroes to get knocked back. The other one is like a CC one that attacks all heroes. They both have hitboxes, right, so you can kill one before the other. However, unlike floor 15, it doesn't end the battle, so you do have to be mindful about that. And when one is gone, that arm it won't be used, it won't have like attacks, and it won't use abilities. However, it does spawn enemies, so you do have to be careful for that too. I believe the right side dies very quickly and the left side kind of takes a little bit longer. And for the second half, you just kind of put your Ren on there. You slap your Ren on there and just see what happens, right? And you just hope she's fast enough to accumulate more mighty blocks and that she takes damage. But for me personally, I don't think I've ever had an issue with that. So like I've pretty much used Ren for the second half 90% of the time, and I don't think I have ever failed from this. From the first clearing, so it does kind of take a little bit of time. So if you're going to do a max challenge, you're definitely not going to use Ren for this, because it does take a little bit of time, and it will speed up and speed up and speed up, and just because it's taking so much time. But yeah, I mean, that's just about it. It looks like I cleared all 20 floors. I have all 60 stars, and I'm going to start collecting all that loot. And while I do that, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and if you guys really want to, maybe I will try like guides for the max challenges. I'm actually not all that accustomed to it. I do know and I have a little bit of experience in it, but I don't have like experience to do like, I don't know. I just haven't done a max challenge in a while because I've been taking a little bit of break from the game, so I'm gonna be a little bit rusty, but forgive me. I will try to get these videos out as soon as I can. But other than that, thank you guys again. I will see you later. Goodbye.